Man, that was like the calm before the storm, and now the storm is just rolling in. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly, and in this video I'm going to be listening to the album Blackwater Park by Opeth. Now, Opeth is a brand new band for me. I have not heard any of their songs or albums, but they get suggested quite a bit here on the channel, and overall it seems like their 5th studio album, Blackwater Park, is the most requested one that I check out. So I figured I would start off here in their discography and just see what I'm going to think of Opeth. Alright, so getting Blackwater Park started is track 1 called The Leper Affinity. Such intense vocals. For some reason, I wasn't expecting that. I love how aggressive and snarly almost these vocals are, but then with the instrumentals, there's something almost upbeat, a little bit jazzy about their tone. What a smooth transition. That was beautifully done. It just all of a sudden transitioned into this like really smooth, again, sort of jazzy section here. I'd love to know if this is the same vocalist as the really intense vocals were. That was an impressive vocal delivery. I got goosebumps there just with how intense they were making that section. All these little things that they're doing, like these sudden stops, there's these moments of silence that they choose not to fill with instrumentals, and it's adding so much drama to this track. Well, that was track 1, The Leper Affinity, and that was quite the introduction to Opeth, that's for sure. That song had incredible variety on it, so many different styles they fused together on one track. I loved the beginning, how it just kind of started off with that one sound, and then boom, all of a sudden the instrumentals and all of that energy came in. I loved the vocals too, how you had the really intense, aggressive ones, but then there was that section where you had the acoustic guitar and the more melodic vocals. I don't know if they have more than one singer, but I just liked how they changed that up on that track. But continuing on is track 2 called Bleak. Man, I love the echoiness. There's an amazing atmosphere to this one. It almost sounds like you're in this big empty chamber or something. All the little echoing effects and sort of that reverberation sound I'm picking up on. There's something so drawn out about this song that I absolutely love. Even the guitar, like the tone of it, it's like it's spread out or being stretched out or something. It's really cool. Man, I love how they did that. Something so chilling about the way he whispered that word. Okay, some unexpected different vocals coming in. I don't know if this is a new singer. I love these two contrasting tones from the guitar. One sounds so cold and almost lifeless, and then this acoustic guitar has sort of a liveliness and a warmth to it. They deliver all of this intensity, but it's done with such a smoothness. I don't know, there's something almost enveloping about their sound. That was track 2, Bleak. That song was really cool how it started off with all of that intensity coming at you, and then again we had more of that melodic, really stripped back middle section, and then it was like toward the end as the song built up into its finale, they were kind of blending those two elements together. And I'm thinking they have two vocalists. I could be wrong, correct me in the comments if I am, but it sounded like two different singers, one doing the melodic clean vocals and then a second person doing the really intense ones. And I'm loving how they're fusing the two. It's just creating this really amazing contrast of sounds going on. All right, moving on to track 3 is Harvest. I'm loving the drums on this one so far. They have almost a hollowness to their tone, and it's creating kind of this echoey sound. I love how he's saying into the ocean, and on that part there is this distortion. It sounds like they're using that is giving it this sort of watery quality. Man, I wonder how many people they have in their band. This guitar is just so talented. I'm loving all of the acoustic guitar that they're utilizing on this album. That was track 3, Harvest. So beautiful, so melodic in tone, just very calm, very relaxing to listen to. And despite being a more restrained, pulled-in song, they were still utilizing all of these different textures and tones going on in the background that were adding so much to that track. Just these little things they'll sprinkle in from time to time are really giving these tracks so far so much nuance, and it's just building them up beautifully. But continuing on with track 4 is the Drapery Falls. That bass, I love it here at the beginning. It's really shining through. That tone of the guitar, how it kind of warbled like that. Again, kind of a watery sound to it. Do all you say. Their ability to go from these intense portions and then they just drag you back into these more like introspective sounding, quiet, melodic moments is amazing. They just switch it up so seamlessly. I love how you have this electric guitar solo going on, but it's almost kind of being drowned by everything else too. Man, those are some gnarly vocals. I mean that in the best way possible. Just so intense. I just got goosebumps. Man, it's like they switched that song off, but it was done impeccably.
Left in the wake to fade away. Waking up to your sound again.
The bass again. That's really shining through on this song. Well, that was track 4, The Drapery Falls. Yet again, another beautiful blend of the soft with the heavy on that one, and something so incredibly atmospheric too. The first half of that song especially, I just loved the tone of it. A little more restrained, something almost a little bit haunted about it as well. I also love how much the bass was being emphasized on that one. I kept picking up on that tone. All right, continuing on with track 5 is Dirge for November.
Turning past me now.
There's such a softness to this one. It almost has this very mild sort of fuzziness to its sound. Is it just me, or is there kind of like a second layer almost to this vocal? It's really interesting. It sounds like they've kind of layered up his voice just a tiny bit. This band just keeps surprising me. All these change-ups that they're doing, I should know to expect them at this point, and yet they're still surprising to me. That was track 5, Dirge for November. They were implementing, it sounded like these really, really subtle echoey effects that gave it this amazing atmosphere. I felt like I was almost in a church or something. There was almost an intimacy to it. And then the middle portion of that track was just the total opposite. It kind of ripped open with all of that sound. It brought a lot of aggression, just very impressive vocals. And then how they transitioned it back into that more pulled in ending was amazing. Just so unexpected. Up next is track 6 called The Funeral Portrait. Man, they're just unleashing on the vocals with this one. Man, it's like a steamroller. Just so much intensity. Was that all one breath? That was so impressive. I can't tell if they have two heavy vocalists on this track. I really don't know how many members are in this band. It sounds like a whole orchestra at times, just so many elements that they're using. I love the crashing sounds that the drums have. This instrument that they keep using on and off throughout the song has almost this sort of Old English sound to it. I don't know if it's a mandolin or what instrument it is. Such a shrill tone just there. That was track 6, The Funeral Portrait. I would say probably the most vocally intense song on this album so far. They were just unleashing so much energy on that one. And then they still had melodic aspects to that song too, though, even though it was so intense. I loved that instrument that I mentioned at the beginning of the song, and then it kind of came back toward the end there. The way that they're utilizing those lighter tones and different instruments like that, it's almost giving this album a sort of medieval flair at times. But I'm going to continue on with track 7 called Patterns in the Ivy. Is that a piano? Man, that last track had so much intensity, and then this one is so soft and it has a lightness to it. That was track 7, Patterns in the Ivy. Such a beautiful song, a sort of tenderness to that one. It almost felt like I was being plunged underwater with just how clear it was with its tone. Something almost bright and sunny about it too, kind of a much needed break after all of the intensity of that last track. But moving on to the final song on this album is the title track, Blackwater Park. I love the tone of that guitar. Very Deftones-esque with all of that reverb it sounds like that they're using. There's almost a slight haziness to the sound of this one. It's like a tiny bit of distortion or sort of a muffledness that they're using. Man, that was like the calm before the storm, and now the storm is just rolling in. These drums way in the background are just unrelenting. They're going so hard. There's something so guttural and raw about his vocals. It sounded like someone shrieking in the background just there. Well, that was track 8, Blackwater Park. What an amazing finale to that album. That song was just like so much energy, completely unleashed and coming at you. He's got so much power to his voice. I love how growly it sounds. And the tone of those guitars, especially at the beginning, I was noticing that, just sort of a fuzzy, almost dissipated sound to them. Just amazing instrumentals blended together fantastically well to close this album out. Well, that is going to conclude my reaction to Blackwater Park, the 5th studio album from Opeth. This was a fantastic introduction to Opeth's music. I thought they fused so many different elements on this album beautifully. You had all of that aggression and amazing energy poured out at times, but then it was contrasted with so many melodic elements as well. With one listen, it's really hard for me to pick a standout track from this album just because the whole project is so cohesive. I did really like track 2, Bleak, though, just how haunted in tone that one was. And that was a great example, too, of how they take it back and forth so much between the melodic and the heavy. And then the first half of track 4, the Drapery Falls, I loved how atmospheric that one was. They really set a great tone with that song. And the closing track, Blackwater Park, was amazing as well. So much energy. The vocals definitely came through on that one. But such a great introduction to Opeth's music, that's for sure. They're a band I definitely want to hear more from. Let me know in the comments which album of theirs you want me to check out next. And yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.